All right, so now we're gonna talk about Carmelo Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
And my question, and I'm not even questioning whether Carmelo Anthony is a Hall of Famer. I've heard a lot about criteria, right?
Right.
And my question is there a criteria, or should there be a criteria for you getting into the Hall of Fame?
That's a tough question because everybody's stats aren't going to be the same.
Right.
Everybody's shot attempts aren't going to be the same. I actually think it's what you bring to the NBA.
Okay.
The following, I think all that stuff matters, like your star power.
Yeah.
He's done so much for USA Basketball. For so many years, he was the best player on USA Basketball. I think Carmelo has really gotten a bad rap because he's had multiple coaches. He's had a couple of coaches try to destroy his career.
Yeah.
And he still stood tall.
Right.
He was. It's funny because he was in the space where if you didn't have a midi, you couldn't play.
Right.
And then as his career continued on, like we don't shoot mid range.
Right.
He was really dinged for that. Now it's back.
Yeah.
And so to me, Melo is probably one of the top 10, 15 players ever in the league. Absolutely.
Of all time?
Absolutely. Yeah.
10 or 15 players.
Yeah.
We got to have just a debate with those names because I've learned, okay, if he's 15, right, like you take who's there right now,
right?
Who are you moving out? And what's your criteria for him to be top 15?
Yeah.
Because some people like, oh, well, he didn't ever win. But I'm like, yeah, but he was a baller. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Because I've actually struggled with this.
Okay.
Do you feel Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer?
I really do.
You really do?
I really do.
I don't. When I heard it, I didn't.
Yeah.
But then when I started looking back at things, like, okay, I guess the thing for me was I saw him once early in his career. I can't remember who it was they were playing against. Dude went to shoot the ball. Dwight jumped, caught his ball like 12 feet above the rim. Like he caught it, brought it down, and the dude got upset that they didn't call a goaltending, and then they ended up calling a goaltending, and Dwight was laughing at him. I was like, oh my God, how athletic he was.
Yes.
But offensively, I never saw the production. Well, I'm not going to say production because that means that he wasn't scoring. I never saw what I thought I was going to see for him offensively, move-wise, post-up-wise, right? Where he had a move or two, but you weren't, from what I saw, you weren't throwing the ball into him to be like, okay, yeah, he's going to get us a bucket. They weren't double-teaming him offensively.
Yeah.
They were trying to keep him off the boards, but he didn't have an offensive package. Like, well, okay, do you think Shaq had an offensive package?
I think Shaq did have an offensive package, but he was so powerful he didn't have to use it.
He didn't have to, but he had one.
He did.
Right?
I thought he
Akeem
did.
had an offensive package. Elijah won.
Too many packages.
Right.
Woo.
So, like, that was kind of what I thought. And I was like, yeah, but then, okay, here's been some of my criteria.
Okay.
My criteria is simply, all right, we can take the fact that whether you've won an NBA championship, but for me, if you're going to be that guy, you have to at least gotten your team to an NBA Finals.
He did that.
Or I would even say to a Western or Eastern Conference Final.
I agree with that. I agree
so
with
if
that.
you've done that, then to me, I would say, okay, you're a Hall of Fame. Doesn't mean that if you didn't, you weren't a good player.
You're eligible.
But
So
you're right. And he's done both of those.
Yeah.
Carmelo's only gotten to the conference, but those are kind of some of the things, but I've never sat down and wrote all the things. So, like with Dwight, I was kind of on the fence, but the more I start to, when I take that out of my head and say, well, why wasn't he better offensively? To the tune of he was giving you 30 and 40-something points because he was just that good offensively. Once I took that out of the picture, it's like, yeah, I can see it.
And I'll be honest, Dwight put up some numbers. He really did. He had like a running hook. Okay. He had some things.
All right, so
here he goes.
Yeah, let me look up.
Here he goes.
Let me look up his stats.
One thing I'll say about Dwight Howard is that people did not come in that lane when he was there.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm talking about some of the best players. I'm not being disrespectful, but he had LeBron James shooting jump shots. He really did. D Wade as well. I mean, he was feared.
Okay, so throughout his career, the most he averaged point-wise was 22.9. That was 2010 and 2011 with Orlando.
Okay.
He never averaged more than that a game.
Now, let's be honest, for a defensive guy, that's pretty good.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking at it like, because then I had to think, okay, Ben Wallace, right? Dennis Rodman, they weren't offensive guys, I guess. But they made their bones on being defensive guys, right? I guess I always felt like there was opportunity for him to be more offensive-minded.
Agreed.
And he was never that. But when you put the defensive aspect, that alone.
Man, he's there.
I've warmed up to it. I've warmed up to it.
And he's won a championship.
Right. Yeah, I've warmed up to it. He's been to 2. You know, he got his team. So I've warmed up to the idea that he is. Now, do you think there are levels of Hall of Famers?
Agreed.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
There are levels to Hall of Famers.
So do you think we need to come up with a criteria, hash some stuff out, and then we can kind of put some stuff?
You know what, man? Players are so different, Kay, and you know this as well. Players bring different values.
Yeah.
They bring so many different things. And so, especially now, this game, you got so many different players that affect the NBA in so many ways. Like, I just don't think it should be you need to have this, and this, you know?
Right.
And so, you know, I saw, just going back to football for a second, I saw a stat that shocked me. The running back from the Terrell Davis, right?
Yeah.
Broncos?
Yeah.
Okay. First 7 years, killer. Well, they pulled up Ezekiel Elliott's stats. And he surpassed him with ease first 7 years.
But
championships?
No. What the offensive philosophy, like, you know, it was about the same.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Ezekiel Elliott was not feared on that run.
That's true.
Terrell Davis was feared.
Well, there was a couple years he was feared.
I don't.
Ezekiel?
I don't remember him being feared on. Like, okay, you knew he was really good, right? He was really good, but the way they were trying to stop, Terrell Davis in that zone blocking scheme, and how he would just, you know, boom, there you go.
Yeah, but could that take nothing away from Terrell? But could that be scheme as well?
I mean, look, everybody has scheme, but at the same time, you see other players playing that scheme, and they ain't having those results, right?
You're right.
So I think it's fascinating. I think, you know, look, congratulations to Carmelo for making a Hall of Fame career.
Absolutely, Melo.
I really wish he would have gotten an opportunity to play in an NBA championship just to see, you know, what and where he would have done. But
and he admitted it. You know, the big three in Miami was originally him.
Right.
Wasn't Bosh.
Right.
And so,
but I'm actually glad, because I don't think it would have worked as well with him there.
Really?
Because of the, not to say that he wasn't going, you know, like, look, when you play, you play. Bosh was more passive minded. He was it was like, okay, who's going to be the guy that's going to sacrifice?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And I think in order for it to work, Bosh was the guy who ended up, you know, taking a back seat a little bit more.
I see what you're saying.